So, what's your name?
Georgina Hopkins.
It's very nice to meet you. What would you say are the main aspects of your job?
Main aspects of my job are being the face of the school, helping people to get to where they need to get to, helping you guys.
Okay. So what sort of thing does your job entail?
The main part of my job is encouraging you girls to woman up, to teach you to look after your own health, but to be here if you have sporting injuries or any injury in your school day.
Do you feel like you're part of the community and that you're acknowledged enough?
Very much so. Yeah. The teaching staff are very good. I think we all have your best interests at heart, so yeah, they work well with me.
Good. Okay.
Is that it?
Okay, so what does your job entail?
It entails making sure, I guess, basically that every teacher has everything they need to do their job. And whether that be from having the right pen to the paper to being able to photocopy their work, then that's what I facilitate and make sure that they can do.
Yeah.
But I also do a lot of stuff for you, and I prepare all your reports, and write things sort of the beginning of it through to you getting it at home in the post. And yeah, so that's a little bit of what I do.
So do you feel that your job's very important to Southampton?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if me or my position wasn't doing what I do, then I think it would be a bit difficult. But maybe you can always get somebody else to do a job, I suppose. But I love my job and I've done it a long time.
Do you feel part of the community? Do you feel like you're recognised?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, thank you.
What does everyone do in the kitchen?
How many are in the kitchen? Okay, so do you want me to tell their names or just say?
Sure.
Everything.
Okay. Say everything.
My name's Keith. So we've got Alex is the head chef. Yeah. You've got Lewis is the second chef, sort of thing. You've got Maria, she does the hospitality and all the photography for upstairs, the functions. And you've got Cowie, which is, he makes all the sandwiches and all the sort of things, helps out around the kitchen. We've got another guy, Shire, who's the kitchen porter. I've got, that's two of us, and you've got the other girls who are around the kitchen, like Carmen, which she serves the teachers. Who else we got? That's a very small amount of people that we've got to actually deal with the food and everything else. So it's quite involving. And obviously John, John.
Love John.
So he's the manager, catering manager. So he does deal with all that as well. So it's quite a biggish few people who will actually do the cooking and everything else.
How many cookies do you make?
How many cookies?
A day?
I don't make them. I would roughly say Maria, you might know about the cookies. How many cookies do we do per day?
Per day?
Yeah, roughly 50 maybe?
Probably more.
For about 80?
Yeah, more like that.
80, maybe 90.
How
Something like that. Yeah.
How many meals a day?
How many meals? Do what? We're about 700?
No.
700? Cook for 700 children mainly, roughly?
Yeah, I think so. There's more than 500 opted in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so we're looking around about between 650 to about 700 maybe. So it varies from day to day. It comes in.
Do you meet them on the day that you're going to meet them? What?
Daily, yeah, it's daily maybe per day of fresh. It's all fresh. So all the food is fresh.
That's so good.
How much food is wasted?
How much food is wasted? Depends on what we do. It depends on what comes back. Mainly, for me, what I do, I try not to get a lot back. There's a lot that does go. The girls do actually, So, but for the guys in the kitchen, they would say sell quite a bit of food. So I roughly would say no. Would be a lot of wastage. That's what we try not to.
He's cutting the salad. Or cabbage.
What else?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Thank you so
Trying to deal with incoming calls and communicating with people on the school's behalf.
Okay, yeah. So what do you like about your job?
I love you. I love the atmosphere. I just love the communication with people, and it's just great being able to help people when they have sort of queries and problems.
Don't worry, I'll go to answer.
Are there any things that you would like people to know about your job or for them to understand?
I think probably some of the complexities that go with the job when people bring in being late, people knowing that they can come to us if they really need us, and also for just an openness and a warmth really that people can receive from reception when they come in and they feel a bit scared and a little bit unsure.
Thank you. What does your daily routine look like?
Phone, registers, emails. Mainly this desk deals with all the emails that come into the school. So we then have to redirect them to the right people and make sure that they're dealt with. So any email at all. So probably dealing with about up to 100, 120 emails that come in, and you have to be on top of those by the end of the day. Then in the afternoon I'm looking at registers. In the morning a friend here, a colleague, she deals with the registers to make sure that's all safe. Dealing with any people who come in, parents, members of the public, and then making sure that everybody is safe and protected within the school.
Thank you. And last one, are there any days that you look forward to or any events or don't look forward to?
Saturday and Sunday, I look forward to. No, I think every day is different. I think every day, because of just coming new into the job, it's learning new challenges, and I quite like that. I don't think there's a day yet where I dread. I don't like the cold days because of the door, but no, I think every day has a new challenge, and I think it's mainly, the idea of a job is that what you bring into it is what you take out. So, yeah, there's not a day I dread yet.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, what is your name?
My name is Mrs. Greengrass. I am the examinations officer for the school. I look after the external examinations. Dr. Woodward looks after internal examinations, therefore year 7 to 10. I look after external examinations, so GCSEs, A-levels, that kind of thing.
Okay, thank you. And what are the different aspects of your job, the things that you do?
There are many different aspects to my job. Contrary to popular belief, I do not just work in May and June when the exams are on. The best analogy that I have heard is that it's like planning for a theatre show. The show might only be on for a few weeks, but the rehearsal period is usually 6 months, 18 months, a year beforehand. And it's very similar here. For the 2017 summer exams, I started planning for them in February this year when the provisional timetable was released by the exam boards. So the provisional timetables come out in February, and that's when I will look to see if there are any horrible clashes that wouldn't suit our girls particularly well, and I have time to feed back to the exam boards. I then run that summer's exams, and you have results days in August. Then there are post-results things like you can request your paper back, or you can ask for the marking to be reviewed again. And then the final timetables for the following summer come out in October. That's when everything is finalised, and I start planning properly for the summer, whilst also starting to plan for Year 11 mocks, which are in January. I then need to import what they call base data from all of the exam boards, which is electronic files to do with all the different codes to make sure you guys are entered for the right exams and therefore get the right qualifications. That's quite complicated. That happens, that's one thing I'm doing at the moment, along with planning for the Year 11 mocks in January. Heads of department will then get entry lists for their subjects for the summer exams before the end of this term. The Year 11 mocks then run in January. And then at the end of January, all of Year 11 will get their individual statement of entry for the exams to make sure their names are correct, their date of birth is correct, all of the exams they've been entered for are correct. We then have Year 13 mocks in February, and we then have final timetable and logistics planning to do with rooming and clashes in around April time. Where girls also will get their final timetable, which will have all of that clash information in there. That will all have been resolved, by which time I would have also started looking at the following year's timetables before the exams actually then start in May and June. So it's quite complicated. It's lots of plates spinning at the same time, but I very much enjoy it.
Thank you. And is there anything that you would like people to know about your job?
Mainly that I don't just work in May and June. There are an awful lot of people, Mr. Wilson included, who I'm sure won't mind me saying so, who tease me frequently about how I must be really quiet at the moment and I must be up here twiddling my thumbs and being very bored because it's not May or June. Also, I'm actually full-time because I'm not teaching staff. I am here in the summer holidays, and I am here I will be working up until the Thursday the 22nd of December. I will be in school. So I am full-time and there is plenty to keep me busy. It is not just May and June. As I think I gave you a very kind of brief overview of what my year roughly looks like, and there's various other bits and pieces dotted throughout the year as well, because I also do some work from the music department and look after the waiting list for lessons and the visiting music teachers that come in. I do some work with the music department as well. So yes, I think that would be the main thing. I would like people to realise I don't just work in May and June when exams are on.
Thank you. Yeah. And what does your routine look like, daily routine, in terms of tasks that you do?
I don't think particularly there is a daily routine. It will very much depend. It's more a yearly routine. It will depend where in the year that I am. The only thing that probably stays the same throughout the entirety of the year is the first thing I do when I come into school is go and make a cup of tea. That's fairly standard. But at the moment, as you can see, what I'm currently doing is a spreadsheet with regards laptop use for the Year 11 mocks to send to the IT department. I then I make lots and lots of lists, so I don't think there is specifically a normal day per se, but there are certain things that have to be done at certain times of year, and that very much stays the same. So there's lots of list writing to make sure I don't miss anything, and certain things are done at certain times of year. I don't think there's a typical day.
Okay, well, thank you for your time. That was very
You're more than
thank you.
welcome. Thank you very much.